Good morning from Colorado. We are just outside of Grand Junction, headed south to Gateway on day 2. It is a beautiful day. I am so excited to drive other cars, even though I'm really enjoying my GT4.
And today we're getting in two that are very recent and completely different than each other. One is the Corvette Z06. Now I know the ZR1 just got introduced, but we have a Z06 with us. The ZR1's barely even been seen by the public. But the more interesting one, because you haven't seen one in the US, is the Alpine A110.
That's right. An Alpine A110 is in the States for 3 months. Thanks to its owner, Ben. He has brought it on our trip, and so we get to drive his car, which is going to be fantastic.
We love road trip films. We've done trips all over, finding some of the best roads and places around the US.
But we've never done one like this. 2 weeks, 14 states, and different cars each day. Exploring new roads, comparing great cars. It's part film series, it's part fan meetup, and it's all a celebration of what we do, where we're going, and all the reasons we love to drive.
We're covering a huge swath of some of the best roads in the US on this trip, but we're also going to cover these cars. We're going to talk about them in relation to each other. We're going to talk about them just, are they fun to drive and should you consider them? We have cars of every possible price point in this series.
It's the strangest thing when I come on trips like this, when we do our road trips. It's such a combination of vacation and work. Gorgeous line of cars, perfect weather on an amazing road. It's hard to ask for more. I can't.
We're going through a place called Gateway. We're going to work our way down Million Dollar Highway, which goes out of Ouray. And if you've never done Million Dollar Highway, top of your list. You have to do it. It is a spectacular mountain road.
Thanks to our sponsors who are helping us with this road trip. Vredestein Tires has come alongside us for many of these cars. Vredestein Tires are on the Lotus. They're on the GT4 as well. Those are the Ultrac Pros. They're really superb for these roads. Also, thanks to PowerStop, they've provided rotors and pads for various cars and power clear wipers on some of these cars as well. And of course, after naming all these cars, I'm sure you're shopping. Autotempest.com/everyday is the place to go find the car that makes you as happy as this one makes me. And Griot's Garage. Every morning, everyone breaks out their Griot's products and cleans the windshields and takes care of the cars. And I'm so glad we get to share. Thanks to owners who are sharing their cars with us.
This is not the show C8. This is a C8 Z06. This is the first performance version of the C8, and it has a completely different engine than the base car. It has a 5.5 liter flat plane crank, which gives it a Ferrari whale with its really, really high RPM. And it has a ton of power, 670 horsepower. Now, interestingly enough, because it's that flat plane crank, it doesn't have a ton more torque than the base engine, but 670 horsepower and a whole just sharpening of the car across the board. Steering doesn't have any more feel, but it's somehow both lighter and sharper than it is in our C8.
This is quite different. It is a 2021 Alpine A110 GT. I have said that the Alpine A110, I think, is the best mix between an Elise and a Cayman, and it is the car that both Todd and I would love. I think I'm right. This is a delightfully different driving experience. The sound is different, the chassis is different, the steering is different, and you know what? It better be. For all that we've imagined an A110 to be, it is. I'm so glad there's another car on the planet that is a fun mid-engine lightweight sports car. It feels like I'm rediscovering cars right now.
To put this in perspective, this Z06 is to Corvette what the GT3 RS is to the 911. This is the sharpened, more aggressive track tool in the Corvette lineup. I can't talk to you when the engine's going this hard. The upper end is so much more aggressive, and it feels incredibly light on its feet. I mean, the C8 that we have feels powerful. This feels like it's on its toes and leaning forward. But because this is a C8, even though it has all of the really aggressive settings, it has all the chill settings too. Now, it's loud in here. It's significantly louder than the base C8. There's a lot of tire roar. The engine is ever present. So if you want to use this as a commute car, as a road trip car, I think you're probably better off in the base version. The owner of this uses it as his track car and road trip car, and now I start to understand it. Because he likes to road trip it, he did get the hardtop convertible. He's tried to do a best of all worlds with this car, and to be honest, because the C8 does such a good job of being an everything car, you add this extra aggression, this track-worthy aggression to it, and I do think with the convertible, he did get a world-class track car that also can be his hangout car, except for the fact that his wife finds the exhaust obnoxious, except for that little problem.
Oh, the ride quality is excellent. But you know what's consistent? Is the seating position. I am used to being this high off the road with the weight behind me. This is where it feels like a Cayman, a French Cayman. It's a touch high. You know what? This is about the same seating height as the Emira. Everything else feels like something new. It doesn't have that unusable exotic feel. This feels like the aspirational mid-engine car we've all been wanting. My head has the same kind of space it does in the Cayman. Bubble roof, lots of headroom. I like that about the cabin. This feels spacious and roomy despite the small size. It's all about the lightweight special driving experience. It feels like a large Elise. The Elise being all aluminum construction, it has that kind of feel to it. The sound is different. Sound matters in sports cars, and this uses the engine out of the Megane, inline 4, 1.8 turbo. Oh, that's good power. And it sounds great, and there's intake noise. Oh, that's good. Look, it's not the highest power car you've ever heard of, but power doesn't make a sports car. It can. But lack of weight is so crucial to this car because, get this, 2,400 pounds, just over 2,400 pounds, 250 horsepower with 236 pound-feet of torque out of a 1.8 liter turbo 4. It doesn't need to be more than that. By the way, have you seen the scenery and how many cool cars we have with us here?
Climbing up out of Ouray, Colorado, one of my very favorite towns with one of my very favorite roads in the Rocky Mountains, $1 Million Highway. I didn't figure we'd be back this year. I just thought schedule would take us other places. And then we had this amazing trip show up to drive all the way to Coda. And we thought, well, if we're going that way anyway, may as well take the good road, right? But the thing I never expected, that I never thought was going to happen this year, or let alone on $1 Million Highway, was to drive an Alpine A110 on $1 Million Highway. I would have put that down as crazy things to think of for this year, and here we are. I have wanted to drive this car since it got announced in Europe, followed by the announcement it was not coming here. And I was really disappointed, and I've heard a lot of amazing things about it because it seems to have all of the pieces of the puzzle that I would love. It's small, it's light, it's quirky, only available as a DCT. It isn't available as a manual, which is a bit of a bummer. Little 4-cylinder turbo behind you, electronic power steering, doors that feel really thin. This has some similarities in feel to the 4-cylinder Emira, actually. There is some similarities here, which means it also feels somewhat similar to the 4-cylinder base Cayman. But then you get to the weight. Mid-engine, under 3,000 pounds, cheaper than a Porsche Cayman. It's modern, it's usable in spite of very, very little storage space. Double wishbone front suspension means that the frunk up there is really shallow. Now, as a daily, as a commute device, this feels special and fantastic, and I know, because we've done it, it's great on a back road. I
I hope you know that we've been here before. I hope you've seen some of our other films when we've come here. It is one of my most favorite roads, and for me, one of the scariest because I hate heights. I'm afraid of heights. I don't like it. And the views are spectacular, and they are not letting us down today. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Jeez. And then the joke is, was it $1 million a mile, or is it just the $1 million views? I can't decide.
$1 Million Highway is an amazing road, just carved out of the side of a mountain, originally built as a railroad line, but it also means there's no guardrails. If you get somebody that's uncomfortable with a no guardrail scenario, like my friend and co-host Paul,
I'm just gonna take it easy here, yeah? The road is incredible. I am being torn in half right now with my love of the scenery and my hatred of the heights.
okay, we simply have got to go faster. This road is so good, we simply must go more quickly than this.
The road gets better from here. It does. And by better, I mean just as scenic with less of a plunge to the forest floor. Okay, we're good. It is a delight to be in a Z06. The through line with an Alpine A110 might not seem apparent at first, but these are both special cars, and that's the main one. They are rare, special cars, not for everyone. But they also are mid-engine, and they also both are DCTs. This one is an 8-speed, the Alpine A110 is 7. This one is a hammer, and those exotic cars that cost far more than this don't have a more exotic feel to them. They don't feel better built. They don't feel like they're higher performance. The point is, it's not like you compromised when you got a Z06. It's almost more user-friendly than any of the rest. But on the Z06, this car is 3.6 inches wider than the Stingray, and that's to cover up the 345 series rear tires, steamrollers in the back. That just speaks to the level of performance. Everything about this car has been tweaked and refined from the C8 Stingray, which in and of itself is no slouch.
I'm chasing the Z06 right now, and everything about the Z06 is better than this car. Everything about it on paper, all of the things it suggests that it does, and I know that car is really sharp and probably feels amazing in these corners. However, this has a playfulness underneath it. That has seriousness. This has playfulness. Light front end and very precise steering in this. There's not a lot of road feel, but it's a modern electronic steering rack, so it's not too much of a surprise. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, rotation is good. It's light. That's what I'm responding to so much. And because of the torque of the turbo motor, you can really feel it dig its way out of corners. It wants to be playful. Instantly, the lightweight of this car resonates with me. I'm so impressed with how delicate it feels. Not delicate, fragile, just everything takes nuance and little movements. It is a dual clutch gearbox that's pretty fast. Similar to an Alpha 4C, you only have 3 buttons down here, drive, neutral, and reverse. Has these big antlers for paddles here because, of course, they're column mounted. I really like these seats. This is a special limited edition version. I know this because there's a plaque down there that allowed for a tan interior.
Look at this thing rolling. It's just so intimidating. But the cool part is it's not intimidating to drive. It's very friendly. 670 horsepower makes it rather easy to do anything. And this is one of those cars that comes to life at incredible speeds. The faster you go, the more rewarding it gets. And that is by virtue of every system on the car being built for high speed. And it makes you want to attack pretty much everything. The owner of this car, Dan, has more miles that are track miles than actually street driven. This thing probably has 4,000 track miles on it. Feels fresh, feels new. Really, if you want to think about it, the Z06 came first before the Stingray. It kind of did because of the 2019 C8.R race car. That's where this engine was developed with a flat plane crank. which means this car sounds and feels completely different than a Stingray. Still Magnaride 4.0, 8-speed dual clutch. It's easy to drive, but the performance is outstanding. Oh, the power. What I love about this is the natural aspiration. As much as I love turbos, I love the torquey punch, but the natural aspiration on this it's so progressive, and that's what I love about my GT4. I want more tactility, but this is still a heavy car. But the power overcomes the weight. I'm so torn. I could see myself owning one of these. It touches that part of me that really wants to find the limits of the car, to extract everything you can out of a car. The weight and the steering do not take away, they do not detract from the experience. This is a baseball bat to every other sports car on the planet.
This is a great companion on a back road. Feels very confidence-inspiring. The owner put on the sway bars of the S model because he didn't feel like it was quite planted enough. This special edition was based on the touring version, the GT version. And so he put on the more aggressive sway bars and slightly different alignment on this car than it came with. And he said it really settled it down and made it feel much more confidence-inspiring. And I don't know what it felt like before, first time in one, but this does feel excellent. Whatever I'd like to do, I know this car can do it. I can feel the rotation very clearly. It does remind me quite a bit of my Elise. And I'm sitting here thinking, would I take this over a 4C? Because they both try to do the automatic version of an Elise.
While I feel like the Alpine A110 dances and sort of wriggles its way around on these roads, this one is glued to a line. It knows the line through all these roads. And that's also very satisfying. It just has that edge to it, that buzz. Listen to that. That's fantastic. What a fantastic car. I mean, I really like the Stingray that we've got. This cranks everything. No, this changes everything. I think everything that feels like compromise and everything I kind of want to change on the Stingray exists on the Z06. This gives me all the Euro car vibes that I'm looking for. I could totally own a Z06.
This is a daunting road. If you're scared of heights, if you're concerned about curves, this is not a great road for you, though I recommend you do it anyway because it's fun in anything. And it actually kind of doesn't matter. It's so beautiful, it's so epic that you're gonna enjoy yourself in the worst minivan possible. But don't bring the van, bring the Vette, bring the Alpine A110, bring the Amira, bring a 911, bring Paul's GT4. It doesn't matter. The point I'm making is bring something that you already connect with, because that car on this road is going to be nearly religious. The sharpness of the Z06 is profound. It's significantly different than the C8. The dive in here is abrupt. There is the tiniest bit of steering wheel movement, which I realize is still a squircle. It makes a difference. GM has put an unbelievable amount of performance in this car. When you consider the fact that this is genuinely a GT3 RS competitor for half the MSRP, but the truth is the GT3 RS is so marked up that this is about a third the MSRP of that car.
This car is so well thought through. It's all about the lightweight chassis, the chassis that is dedicated to this car. There's great feedback here. There's great, interesting road feel to me. But that's just by virtue of the car being so light. But then the car pivots so well. It pivots like a Cayman. It's just got that neutrality. Lotuses have better feedback here, slightly. But we're talking about slicing the onion thinly. We're talking about shavings. We're such small increments here. It harkens back to the original A110, but it doesn't look retro. In no way does this come across as a half-hearted attempt. It looks back, it acknowledges the original 60s 110, and it looks forward with a modern, graceful shape, but different than a Cayman, different than a Lotus, that have a forward rake to it. The rear haunches on this kind of float away. There's more of a graceful, there's more elegance, there's more of a teardrop shape to this. It's definitely a gentleman's car. It's definitely, the refinement is clearly here.
This is such an American car, and I don't mean that as a slight. I don't mean it as an insult at all. It's American because it's big and brash and about value and about just crushing other things underneath its boot. What's funny is that these two cars epitomize the parts of the world they're from. This is America versus Europe as far as what's fun and who are we and what do we like. The Alpine is refined and calm and not overpowered and gentlemanly. The Z06 is a bit of a jerk. The Alpine is a sophisticate. Yeah. I'm not saying which one's better because they both do what they do very well. It's just you can so see their countries of origin in each of these cars.
What's so crazy about this car is that on a canyon road like this, it's almost parity with the Z06 because the Corvette has too much power for this road. It almost has too much power for anything. Now, you could also argue that four cylinders don't sound so great, but this has an energetic thrum about it. It's an energetic sound that it's not annoying. It is delightful. It's a car to look forward to. And it's a car of discovery, and this car is changing my perception of simply having power and going after power. But fortunately, it's in the 250 to 600 range of cars with good horsepower to weight ratio. It's the low weight on this thing is just so delightful.
The speeds I could achieve if I was looking for the edges of this car on this road. I mean, we're road tripping. We're going fast, but we're not seeking the edges. And I'm so far within this car's capabilities, I can't even describe to you what it still has left, because it's a lot. This is a 3,800 pound car in convertible form, so it is heavier than our C8, and it is so sharp that it feels lighter, significantly lighter. This feels like what I would expect a 3,200 pound car to feel like, and it's not. It also feels smaller, just the scale of it as a driver feels smaller than our C8, which is also crazy. That tells you how much they've tightened this car down. But that Alpine just scampering along behind me, keeping up in the corners. I've got brutal power here. The Alpine's immediate. This has to find its voice, find its power, like take a big, threatening inhale and then explode forward, but it's gonna take that full inhale before it gets there.
Look how narrow the rear of the Alpine is. Look how narrow the rear tires are. It doesn't matter. It's just so light. It can do the things this thing can. Therefore, I have justified both. I love the delicacy of the Alpine. I love extracting what that has to offer. And I want to bludgeon everything. I want to smash everything with the Corvette. This is the one to get because it's a Chevy and it's gonna run and it's usable. It's not finicky. It's not anything to apologize. It just starts and runs and you can beat the snot out of it. And that's why I want a Z06. But I also want an Alpine A110. And the through line that I told you about at the beginning of this piece, I was wrong. It's my want for both cars, and I could see both existing in my garage, happily doing different things.
Wish we got these here. I would be tempted, badly tempted to have one.
Oh, and by the way, the road keeps getting better. It's one of my favorite. We're past the canyon, so we're good. What day is it? It's the second day, right? No, day 3. It's day 3. It's already blurring together because it feels normal.
We're gonna have another full production day, and we had a couple of issues. First off, our drone's not working due to overly aggressive camera use yesterday. I'm just going to go with that. Overly aggressive use. So the drone's not working, so we weren't going to be able to film with the drone, which is a bummer because we're going through some mountains in New Mexico. But while going through some of these New Mexico roads, we had a big line of cars going, good line that we've had the last few days, and there was a nice fist-sized rock in the road, and most of us missed it, but you're following a line of cars, and sometimes you can't make the move fast enough. One of us didn't.
So that was the car that we were going to shoot today alongside a 2000 Corvette, C5 Corvette, and that was Jason's 2003 Boxster S, and I'm gutted. Punctured the oil pan, he lost his oil. What is a rock doing in the road like that? But things happen like this.
The car has to be flat-bedded to the nearest town, which is about an hour back from where the incident happened, but it was a half hour from where we had cell reception. So just the ability of getting the process in motion of getting the car reclaimed took well over an hour. So we are moving. We're on what is actually a really cool road in New Mexico. I just hope that the pavement holds up because New Mexico is not known for its good pavement. If you watch our south piece from before, we didn't have much fun going south and going through New Mexico. I'm hoping these roads are better, but they're already scenic, so we'll see. Everybody's kind of in their own car, even though there's a lot of car swapping going on. I love seeing that.
Everybody is truly enjoying themselves to the point where we took a group vote at lunch, and we decided that since we weren't doing production with the Corvette and the Boxster because we lost the Boxster, should we use the main drag? Should we use the main route and hack an hour off of our time to our stop in New Mexico tonight? Or should we take the squiggly part? Everybody voted for the squiggly part, and that's where we're at now. I love it.
We're on Highway 64 right now, and the whole convoy is loving this road. The incredible thing is that I'm driving comfortably. I'm not trying to find edges of this car. I'm just driving at a speed that feels comfortable. And it was dawning on me a minute ago that these Vredestein tires, these All-Track Pro, are holding up really, really well. Because this isn't a great road surface. There's tar snakes, there's actually tar-filled potholes, there's potholes that have not been tar-filled yet, there's random stuff on the road. I've got plenty of grip, but at the same time, I don't feel like the tires are going to be fragile either, which is really good. This Emira just, it does everything well. It does everything well in that same way a C8 Corvette does everything well, but I think here it has better looks and more style.
This is ideal. The engine note is amazing. This car is amazing. Have I mentioned how much I love this car? You know what? I am also enjoying the auto blip, the rev match on here. It just makes it easy. Make sure it's on along with the engine shut off, the auto stop start. Yeah, see? Nailing all my shifts? Yeah, totally. This road is really paying off. It's times like these where it's worth it. The vote is paying off, everyone.
Pleasantly thrilled by this road, and we are by ourselves, which is even better. I mean, we've got a great looking line of cars, but to be up here, and it's like 10 minutes between any time we see another bit of traffic. In fact, look, there's a truck right there. And every truck I've seen, everything I've seen for traffic on this road has been a white pickup. I don't know why, but they're all white pickups.
Look at this road. The sweepers. Look at this. I mean, we are well out of cell range. Full 180. Check this out. We're not quite halfway through. We're halfway through right now. Oh my gosh.
I like the gearing in here so much better than the GT4. I mean, I'm in fourth right now going a speed, and honestly, I would be probably in third in the GT4 because the gearing is so high in that car and it revs so high that you actually don't feel like you get to use it as much. You don't get to use the gearbox as much as you do in this Emira. And while I don't want to shift constantly, I like being in the top half of the rev band most of the time, and that's what fourth is giving me at the moment. But I do want to feel like I need to shift occasionally because that's part of the fun, right?
You see, it's this particular event that made me buy the GT4 because I feel like now is the time in my life, right now, to make it happen, to stretch, to get this car, to enjoy it. And it's this why we have Everyday Driver and Hooked on Driving together. People have asked us, what are you going to do with Hooked on Driving? And I tell them, the brand Hooked on Driving is about track days. But Everyday Driver is now the media side. Hooked on Driving is the event side. And it has to do with driving to a track day. This is both brands combined, encapsulated in an entire 2-week trip. Driving through the best roads America has to offer. The best ones that we can find. Going out of our way to find roads like this, enjoying them, and ending up at a track day so we can drive on an incredible, iconic racetrack. The end. The speed is so cleansing. It's just so cleansing. I don't know another word for it. It's just so cathartic. It's just so cathartic. We have experienced the best section of this road, leaving Carson National Forest, land of many uses, I'll say.
And then all of a sudden, the pine trees stopped and we're in just high plain, completely different. And it wasn't like the trees slowly faded away. It was just like one day they just stopped growing and said, this is as far as we go. And now it's just plains. I don't even understand how that happens. One of you is a botanist and is explaining it, and that's great. But the point is, it is amazing how this stuff changes. And this is the fun part about doing a road trip on new roads. Even when I've scouted them, and I think I've found good roads, and we had great roads today. We found a nice squiggle on the map and we followed it. But the squiggle has to connect you to where you're going to go. We nearly finished up our day. We're almost into Santa Rosa, New Mexico, which gives us a long blast tomorrow across West Texas. Santa Rosa is interesting because they have the Route 66 Museum, because right through Santa Rosa, New Mexico is part of historic Route 66. And I hate to break this to you, but you should pick a different route across the U.S. Look, I know Route 66 is very historic. I know many people, especially on the East Coast, dream about driving Route 66 from coast to coast. Pick it up in Chicago, come all the way out. But the thing you have to know is, you imagine that the entire route is going to be the movie Cars. And there's a few places where it is, but fewer and fewer. And what you're probably really hoping for is an amazing driving experience. And it misses all the good roads. It arcs above all of the roads in the southeast that we're going to cover after COTA, and it's completely south of all the good roads in the Rocky Mountains. So I'm telling you, if you're going to do a road trip, and you should, get a car that you love and take a road trip. Do thousands of miles in it and find all the squiggles on the map. But let me just save you the trouble. Don't do Route 66. Just find good squiggles in amazing places. Look up all of the fantastic roads in whatever states intrigue you. Get up high in the mountains. Get into the deserts. Find the good stuff. Don't worry about what was Route 66. Watch the movie Cars. Call it a day. Go on a great drive. This is what I'm saying. Santa Rosa is like Route 66 Museum, and I'm just saying skip it.
Also worth skipping, 700 miles of driving through West Texas. It's mostly windmills, but it's also the only way to Austin, Circuit of the Americas, and another week of great roads and great cars. There's lots more to come. Thank you for watching.